Thank you so much, members. Feel welcome. Let's pray. Almighty God, we beseech you to be filled with your abundant favors and blessings as your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to leadership position in this republic. We seek your guidance to treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to advance peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interest you have committed to our charge. Amen. Sharon, can you proceed with the administration of oaths?
Swear that the evidence I shall give before this committee is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the whole the truth. So help me God.
Thank you so much, Engineer. I give this chance to the honorable members of this committee to introduce themselves, starting from my right.
Thank you very much, members. My name is Honorable Vincent Korir. I represent Londiani Ward. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you and good morning. My name is Gabriela Chepngena, nominated MCA. Thank you.
Good morning, honorable members. I'm Gilbert Kibrop Ngetich, MCA representing Kishara Ward. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Welcome, DG. My name is Kipkoech Albert, MCA representing good people of Soliat. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Your Excellency, I'm Philip Bruno, MCA representing Kamasha, and the leader of Majority County Assembly of Kericho, and a member of this Adhoc committee. Thank you.
Good morning, DG. My name is Richard Langat, Siglai MCA, Kedoa Kimugur.
Good morning, Your Excellency. I am Masinjeri Gekonyo, representing minority in Kericho County, nominated MCA.
Welcome, Your Excellency. I am Tim David, MCA Gypsy on Ward.
Your Excellency, I am Correct Kipri Matthew, MCA Chaik Ward, member to this committee.
Good morning, honorable members. My name is Irene Langat. I am the vice chair to this committee.
Thank you. Welcome, Your Excellency. Mine is Betty Riot. I represent the great people of Ainamoi Ward, Ainamoi Sub-County.
Good morning, Your Excellency. I'm Eric B. a member to this committee, at the same time, Chair Health Committee. Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much and welcome. My name is Moses Rotich, MCA Tendana Soget, and the chair to this committee. I wish to give a brief history about this committee. This is an ad hoc committee that was formed pursuant to the County Assembly of Kericho standing orders to investigate a matter regarding Londiani accident. Feel welcome. Thank you too for finding time to be with us. I know you had a very busy schedule. Thank you for finding time to come in here and shed light regarding the same matter that is before our deliberation. So I wish also to give you this chance to introduce yourself. Before then, we have a team of secretariat, head of PR. Then we have our clerk. Also within As here, we have the Sergeant at Arms, and also Sharon, Deputy Clerk in charge of Legislative Services. Within this conference, again, we have the members of the press. So welcome, and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chair. Honorable members, I want to take this opportunity to say good morning. Secondly, I'm very grateful for this invitation to appear before this Adhoc committee that was constituted to investigate the issues surrounding the Londiani accident issue. And I'm very happy that I was invited yesterday in the evening at around 5. I received a call from the majority leader, Honorable Philip Rono. I was in Nairobi, and we discussed. I had requested that probably because of where I was, to appear either tomorrow or Monday. But when we discussed, we reached an agreement, and I was able to travel this morning. And I want to say that I'm, first of all, sorry for being late. We were, according to the letter, supposed to be here by 9, but because of the traffic, I wasn't able to make on time. But all in all, I'm happy that I have arrived, and we'll go through the session together. And actually, I've been taken through the oath, and I'm happy because I'm a stickler of law, and I like saying the truth. Nothing but the truth always, because that is how I've grown up ever since I was young. During my young days, children, we used to love probably taking sugar. And when my mom could come and say, Nana Makula Sukari, I was the first one to say, me, I'm among them. So you could be disciplined, because I knew that was the only thing that could be done to somebody. But I grew up with that trend of always saying nothing but the truth. And that is what has brought me all this far up to where I am. So, Chairman, I think without much ado, I'm grateful and I appreciate the invitation.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for that insightful introduction. Your Excellency, kindly give us an insight of how we are faring on as a county government before we embark on the matter of today.
Chair, I don't know whether in terms of, could you give me on which areas to highlight on, because I was only prepared for the matter that is before us, so that I don't give information that I don't have justification on whichever issue. So I think this committee basically invited me to give the information about the issue that was contained in the invitation letter. So, and that's why I'm here.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. When we say how we are faring on matters general well-being of our county, as far as you are concerned.
Thank you very thank you, Chairman. I think I want to say that
information regarding the Londiani accident. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chair. Honorable members, I think I would like, first of all, to take this opportunity to thank the County Assembly of Kericho because I was following the proceedings of the county assembly on Tuesday when the committee was being constituted. And it was constituted as per the standing orders because there was debate. And that is why when I was invited to appear before it, I know this is a legally mandated committee that actually anything that they undertake is of legal implication. And I'm here based on the issue that happened and which I raised myself concerning the expenditure of the proceeds from the Arambe or Londiani accident victims. I want to give you an account of what happened. On 30th June this year, that is 2023, I was in my office as usual, and I left the office at around 5 back home. While I was at home at around 5, around 6, I received an anonymous call from a caller who didn't mention his name but said I'm in Londiani Junction. And DG, he talked in Kiswahili and he said, Deputy Governor, ajali mbaya sana imetokea hapa Londiani na watu wengi wamepoteza maisha yao na watu wengi wameumia. Lori ilikuwa inatoka Nakuru ikapoteza mwelekeo na imepita na watu na imeangusha container upande wa petrol station, and the caller switched off. I tried calling him back, but it was busy. His phone was busy, and I was not able to get any other information. I immediately asked my driver to rush to Kericho and fuel my official car because I knew it was on a Friday and I didn't have any other engagement the following day. So I asked the driver to go back to the petrol station, and I sent him 2,000 shillings where we refilled the car and rushed to Londiani Junction area. I arrived there about 30 minutes after the accident. And what I witnessed, I want to say that, and I did mention during the Arambe that probably at some point I will need probably also to be taken through some sort of counseling, because I witnessed a scene that I've never seen in my life. The bodies, that time it was still fresh, 30 minutes after the accident, and the bodies were all over. There was all vegetables, chicken, everybody was wailing, others were trying to help those ones who had been injured. The matatus had actually caused traffic, and everybody was trying to, those ones who were assisting the victims were trying to assist the victims, and the bodies were all over. The type or the type of injuries was so devastating because bodies were in separate parts. I remember there were some legs on this part. You could see another body there. You could see a head that had completely been crushed. Even one of the person, the heart was actually out. So this is something that really, really, really affected me. And I have not had peace in my mind since that time. Immediately after that, at around 7, I went to, because people now are being assisted, I called the CC Help, asking her to, that is Brenda, that there is an accident and she told me they have already gotten the message, and all the ambulances. I asked him, please mobilize all the ambulances to Londiani. The word went round, and several ambulances arrived. The police officers arrived on the site immediately. Ambulance from Molo arrived, and later I also saw ambulances from Bomet County. I rushed to Londiani Hospital because that time you are trying to make sure that people, those ones who got injured, are being taken to hospital. And there was one lady, unfortunately, she lost her life. And she had lost her limbs. Both legs had been cut, but she was still wailing. She was in Londiani Hospital, Londiani sub-county hospital. She was tied so that to prevent bleeding, and referred immediately to our referral hospital. That time she was still unconscious and she could not talk. But I'm told immediately she arrived here at our county referral hospital without the limbs. The limbs were at the accident scene because it was only her body minus the legs. She arrived at the county referral hospital and she just said, I'm called Mercy. That's what I was told, and she died. Later, I came to learn that the lady was a nurse at Eldoret Hospital here. And she had actually finished her duty that day on Friday, and she didn't even go home. She comes from Londiani, somewhere, I don't know, Kericho, and she was actually going to see her child because her child was staying with her mother. And so she bought a few things because I talked with her colleague, doctor, here. And so she was going home because the kid stays with her mother. And unfortunately, she was not able to arrive home that day. So that is the sad series of what happened. The other thing is that, most of the people, if you could have seen the accident scene, it was cleared. These are people who are the lowest hierarchy of the economy. These are the mamambogas and the people who are roasting maize on top of their jikos and giving to other people to sell it to the other bus which was just there. But unfortunately, as they were probably trying to light the fire so that the maize could burn, others were selling chicken. The bus that had lost control cleared them and they lost their lives. So you can imagine the kind of situation that these people back there at home, because I've been able to talk to some of them, and these are very poor people who are actually trying to earn something, and then that evening go home with something as their children were waiting. So that thing has really touched me. And I stayed at the hospital and going back to the scene up to around midnight. At the hospital, nearly all the referrals were done by the medical superintendent of Londiani sub-county. By 9:30, nearly all the people who were actually injured had been referred. They were referring some patients to PGH because they were asking, wangapi wanataka enda PGH? So some were referred to PGH and others were referred to sub-county referral, our county referral hospital. By 9, I went back to the site. It was drizzling, it was raining. And that time now, I was able to meet the area MP. He was there, but we couldn't meet that time because everybody, as another person was driving to the site, probably another person is here. So we now met together, plus the women rep. She also arrived. Then the county commissioner arrived later. And I stayed at the site because it was raining and drizzling, because bodies now are being collected. By the time I was at the hospital, the medical superintendent, we went to the mortuary, and it was very devastating because all the bodies had been lumped on the floor. And I was asking him whether they would be put in the fridge, and he told me no, until the bodies are identified by their families the following day, is when now they will start separating. The bodies were in a total mess, and actually they said they will need a pathologist to come and put the bodies together, because you could find some legs here, kuna kichwa huku, bodies huku, several things were strewn all over, plus the personal belongings, personal effects that were there. So I think the following day, there was, in the morning, the cabinet secretary for transport arrived, and I was there at 7:30. I mean 8, arrived at 7:30, and we were with the other leaders now. I think even the area MCA was there, Mr. Sigilai, also Londiani ward MCA, that is Honorable Member Vincent was there, plus other leaders came. And there was some brief address. And then we visited Londiani Hospital, where we were told all the bodies had been referred, but the people who were there now are people who were identifying the bodies of their loved ones. And we went to the Red Cross stand. Then after that, we came together with the governor and the other leaders to our referral hospital. At the referral hospital, we visited several patients, and there was one patient who had passed on. By the time we were arriving, we were briefed by the ICU doctor, the Cuban lady. I don't remember her name. And then the other lady, there was ones who had been amputated at the hospital, and they were in pain, so we couldn't talk much. There were others who were traveling to various places. Remember there was a lady from Roret who was also there, and she said she was going to Olenguruoni, but the accident met her on the way. Now on Tuesday, there was a fundraising and also a memorial. So I think that day the governor and the other leaders addressed the gathering, including myself, and we were only passing a message of condolences and also quick recovery to those ones who had actually lost, who had gotten injured. Then we all departed later. Then on Monday, I think there was a meeting whereby there was a fundraiser and also a memorial service that was organized to be held on Tuesday, that is the 4th. And that is now where my whistleblowing came in. On that day, we remember there was the fundraiser which was led by His Excellency the Deputy President, plus so many other leaders who came on that day. And we contributed, all of us. I think some of you, majority leader, you were outside the country, but at least we had the mention of the money that everybody was sending. So the purpose of that Arambe was actually to raise money for the victims, for the families of the people who had lost their lives, and also those people who had gotten injured. So everybody who was giving out money on that day after the service was meant specifically for the victims and the people who had lost their lives. After the fundraiser, I think the Deputy President went to Mheshimiwa Roads for lunch. Myself, I had no information, so I thought the Deputy President was going to fly back to Nairobi. So I had gone to where the Londiani boys field, where all the helicopters were parked. When I asked the crew of the Deputy President whether they say they want to fly to another area where the Deputy President will take. So they told me, I think he's having lunch. So I actually asked them to airlift me. So I went in that Deputy President helicopter to the road's place. By the time we arrived there, I think people were eating. So I just also took some light snacks and left. And then also the Deputy President left at that time, plus other leaders who had actually gone to that place. So I didn't have any other issue myself. I think I continued with my work, coming to my office as usual. But there was one family that called me, I think around 1 week, I don't remember well. And they asked me, please attend an Arambe. We are raising an Arambe to actually assist in Momoniat. They wanted to bury their loved one because they were lacking some money. So I asked the person who was calling me, si pesa ilichangwa kule Londiani. So he told me, hatujapata pesa. So nothing came into my mind why they had not gotten the money. Akaniambia, unajua hatujapata ile pesa. So I thought, because we had raised, so we were giving to the entire family. So I told him, sasa unajua tukifanya harambee tena kidogo kidogo, sitakuwa ngumu, labda ni ya watu ya majirani. We don't have a problem with the harambee, but majirani wanaweza fanya. But as leaders, we had contributed in Londiani. And it ended that way. I didn't attend. Then I think everything continued. On 20th July, I received a letter from my office. That is a copy of a letter that was from the County Secretary and Head of Public Service, Dr. Whistleblowing. And in that letter, it was indicating a request for facilitation.
Maybe, Your Excellency, as you proceed, we welcome, if it's possible, that we get a copy of the same.
Yeah, I'll give
through our clerk, the legal services.
So this is letter that was from Dr. Whistleblowing to CPA Gilbert B, Chief Officer Finance and Acting CEO Economic Planning, dated 19th June, and you should note that, dated 19th June 2023. But I received it on 20th July. So I want you to share. But I think there was another that corrected the date. There was another that came.
Through the chair, what was the purpose of the letter?
It was not delivered. Okay. So I think this is the letter that we received. So the letter was saying, request for facilitation of payment for expenditures incurred in the Londiani accident. So I think you can give it to, so that the members can be, we have some few copies. I think you can. So the above subject matters refer. Please facilitate, that is the letter's body. Please facilitate the payments from the Londiani fundraiser kitty. So please facilitate the payments from the Londiani fundraisers kitty as approved and agreed upon by the planning committee members as per the attached minutes. Please find enclosed are the documents related to the expenditures for your reference. Signed, Dr. Wesley Bor, PhD, the County Secretary and Head of County Public Service. Not on inclusive, not on original. It was shared to His Excellency the Governor. It was shared to me, His Excellency Frederick Kirui. Then it was shared to Honorable CEC Finance. Then Honorable Edna C. Tonui, Public Service. And then when you go to the next page, are the minutes now that are referred to. The reference of the letter is KEC/CS/Finance/Volume. So in the minutes of Londiani Disaster Committee meeting held on 18th July 2023 at the Governor's Boardroom. The members present, Dr. Wesley Bor, PhD, County Secretary and Head of Public Service. Number 2, Honorable Joseph Chirorot, Member of Parliament, Kipkele East. Honorable Leonard Ngetich, CACM, Finance and Economic Planning. Honorable Brenda B, CM, Health Services. Honorable Rosemary Rob, CEC, Water, Energy, Environment, Forestry and Natural Resources. Honorable Edna Tonui, CM, Public Service Management. Honorable Chirchir Judith, CM, Education, Culture and Libraries and Social Sciences. Honorable Daniel Robb, CM, Information, Communication and E-Government, Youth Affairs, Gender and Sports. CS, Tetsi Chebet, CEO, Lands, Housing and Physical Planning, and Acting CEO, Public Service Management. Mr. Wekesa Simiu, Assistant County Commissioner. Mr. Alphonse Rotich, CEO, Executive Office of the Governor, taking minutes. Agenda of that is preliminaries, and then number 2, identification of beneficiaries, and then determination of level of support. Preliminaries, the meeting was called to order by the chairman at 10:30. This was followed by a prayer by Honorable Daniel Robb. This was then followed by self-introduction. Identification of beneficiaries. Honorable Leonard, the CEM Finance, informed the meeting that the amount of money collected, and I want you to note that, collected, was Kenya shillings 13,653,660. The amount collected through M-Pesa pay bill number was 29,000. This makes a total of Kenya shillings 13,682,660. Honorable Brenda informed the meeting that there was a total of 52 fatalities and 24 survivors. Honorable Cheroro also confirmed the meeting that there were 3 motorbikes affected and 1 business. The committee approved the following expenditures for payment. Institution, item, approved expenditure, total Kenya shillings. Kericho County Referral Hospital, treatment and medication, 1,880,336 plus 157,188 Kenya shillings. Total 2,037,324. Londiani Hospital, treatment and medication, 1,534,190. Total 1,534,190. Supertrix Limited, tents in Londiani, 2,945,000. Total 2,945,000. Supershine Limited, tents at race, 411,000. Total 411,000. Race Hotel, lunches for 100 persons or packs, which is 100 on approved and 100 total. PSM, transport, refreshment, printing, etc. 423,000, that is the total. County Commissioner, fuel and meal allowances for the team, 300,000 and 300,000. Affected persons, fatalities, 90,000 times 53, which is 4,770,000. Survivors, I mean the other one was 53 persons. Survivors, 60,000 times 12.
Through the chair, maybe DG, I'm saying that under the expenditures, the affected persons, especially fatalities, are 53 persons.
Yeah, but here it's indicating 50 in the minutes. You know, this is the document that I got it the way it is. I confirm that here is 52, but here they are using 53.
So we will go as per the document the way it is.
The way it is.
Okay, thank you.
Maybe through the chair, another IPROS, though the DG has not read at that one. From the minutes above there, we are seeing 24 survivors. From the calculations down here,
they are using 12.
We are seeing 12. Maybe in your own knowledge, how did they scale down to 12?
I don't know. That is now. I'm only reading the document that I received the way I received.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Maybe, Chair, be a follow-up question. The DG has said that he's just reading the document the way he received. Where did the Deputy Governor receive this document?
Okay.
Where
the document
did you
was
get the document?
The document was received. You've seen that we stamped. There's a stamp saying Office of the Governor, Deputy Governor on 20th. and it was circulated, and we have the black book, which usually when any document comes to our office, bring me the original. So when we receive any documents, we usually place it on this. And this book contains documents that have been received way back up to 2020, before I even occupied the office, 2019.
So
this is a book for receipt. This is the original. But we will give you now the photocopy of the part that was signed on the received document.
So, Chair, so what you are saying is that the document is authentic.
It's authentic.
It was copied to you.
It was copied
brought to your office.
Yeah.
Received. So, thank you.
Chair,
Okay, Chair.
I have a question regarding the breakdowns. I can say you said 13,682,660 was raised, but the total expenditure is 13,540,000.
There is a balance
What
there.
will be the difference?
There is a balance. Kenya shilling 112. 112, 940, 46. Chair. And that document was signed, approved, signed by, I think this is Dr. Bor, County Secretary, that expenditure. I actually got some people, before I leave this page, probably so that there are some people who actually called and said we had sent our money to letter through pay bill. And from the M-Pesa pay bill number was Kenya shillings. You've seen that it is only 29,000 which was added, but I have evidence of a few people who send their money through M-Pesa. One of the people who send their money through M-Pesa is Bernard Soy. That is the director for Kipchimat. And he sent 250. The first one was RG 559 QQY807, confirmed Kenya shillings 150,000, sent to Londiani accident victims, support for account Londiani on 5th, 7th, 23 at 11:19. Of course, kuna new M-Pesa balance. And then there is, because he could not send, he sent 250. Then he sent again another message. RG 53 QQZU 29 confirmed 100,000 sent to Londiani victim support for account Londiani on 5th at 11:20. So the other one
There
was
is some interjection from
Chairman. I'm sorry, Your Excellency,
Yes,
for
yes.
taking you back. Did you note that from the total figures there is a missing figure of 29,000? If you add 13,540 plus 112, did you not? From these expenditures, the total figure plus the balance.
I've not, I was just
So you have
looking
not noted.
Yeah.
Okay. There is a missing figure of about 29 to 30 million that we need to know where it was.
That is, I think,
placed.
now
Thank you.
the finance will be able to clarify.
Okay. Before then, again, Your Excellency, we wish to get a copy of the M-Pesa statement.
I'm reading and then I'll share.
Okay, thank you.
And then there is also, you can actually share it. Maybe. There is another transaction, not able to print, but somebody had sent me through my phone. That was sent by Exotic Hotel of 100,000. I'll probably print it, and then we'll share. So those are just sample of the money that was sent through pay bill.
Chair, follow-up question on the same chair. Your Excellency, was it happened that you received the document on your table?
Of each, even the M-Pesa, it is actually after I raised the issue, is when now I received these other documentation, and I think that is now why it is coming now clearly that probably this figure is. And the other thing is we personally, I have been trying several. I tried severally to call CECs even before this issue, but they've not been receiving my calls. The CEO, so I just opted.
Chair, let me request regarding these minutes. I want to ask a question on the minutes. The minutes say request for approval of expenditure. Request for approval of the committee. The committee approved the following expenditure. Now, did you request for maybe, because when you want to approve something, there's a basis for approval. For example, the one for Kericho County referral, did you request for further documents maybe afterwards, after you reading?
I think, let me finish because there are some documents which are attached.
Okay.
Yeah. So that I think the best, Chair, probably you give me to finish.
Okay.
So that...
Your Excellency, let me give some directions to the committee that we wish that we give His Excellency the Deputy Governor time to make his submissions. Then we proceed later with questions if there are any. Kindly proceed, Your Excellency.
Thank you, Chair. So I think that is the budget, and it is indicating there approved and signed by Dr. K. Wesley Bor.
Maybe for the purpose of records, Chairman, we've seen the received money from one Ben Soy. He did send, maybe I'm just saying this for the purpose of this committee, he did send a total of 250K on 57th, 2023 at 11:19 a.m. Maybe what we want to confirm now is the Deputy Governor has just said he received copies of these letters. Maybe I take you back the date at which you received this letter is when? 20th July. So this one is what I wanted, don't remember, maybe you write down for the purpose of this committee to mean after receiving this 250K on 5th of July, because I heard some claims that these people say the pay bill is still open to date, then it means they ought to have declared the 250K on 20th June because it was received in the pay bill account on the 5th of July. Thank you.
So I think, Chair, what you will probably request is the full. I was just giving a sample of why I started sensing some fishy or mischief in the whole issue. That there could be some money in the pay bill that was not declared. Then the other thing is, after that, there is a letter which we also received in our office that actually was now going to implement the payment, the issuance of checks. And the letter was received on 20th again from Dr. Wesley Bor, County Secretary and Head of Public, to Honorable Ngetich Leonard, dated 19 July 2020, reference KEC CS/F and EP/volume X in bracket 22. Request for facilitation of payment for expenditures incurred in the Londiani accident. The above subject matter refers. I think you can share the copies. Please facilitate payments from the Londiani fundraiser kitty as approved This one was for correction. You remember the first letter was indicating June. So this one is actually correcting the letter, that letter that is actually attached to the minutes. And it was addressed now to CC, Leonard Ngetich, to facilitate payments, and actually now sending the same approved as per attached minutes. So I think this one is correcting the dates. That's the letter I was looking for. Then on 21st, there was a letter from Dr. Wesley Bor, County Secretary, addressed to CEOs. Mr. Alphonse Rotich, CEO, Executive Officer of the Governor, CPA Gilbert Kipkurui, CEO, Finance, Mr. Willie Bronorop, CEO, Agriculture, Dr. Michael Kiprotich Bed, CEO, Livestock, Dr. Japheth Cheruyot, CEO, Health Services, CPA Rosemary Chelangat, CEO, Water, Energy, Environment, Forestry and Natural Resources, CS Betsy C. Kirui, CEO, Lands, Housing and Physical Planning and Acting CEO, Public Service, Mr. Richard K. Tonui, CEO, Education, Culture, Libraries and Social Services, QS Anderson Cheruyot, CEO, Public Works, Roads and Transport, Ms. Jacqueline Langat, CEO, Trade, Industrialization, Innovation, Tourism and Wildlife, Mr. Geoffrey Kipngano Bet, CEO, Information, Communication and E-Government, Youth Affairs, Gender and Sports, Mr. Mr. Toet Edgar, Chief of Staff and Head of CDU, Ms. Marie Langat, Director, Governors Press. Reference KER/CS/PSM/volume X as volume 12 in bracket, that is in Roman numbers 12/171, dated 20th July 2023. The above subject matter refers. This is to invite you to attend the above ceremony tomorrow, 21st July 2023, as from 10 a.m. Oh, sorry. The reference is issuance of checks for Londiani Road accident victims. The above subject matter refers. This is to invite you to attend the above ceremony tomorrow, 21st July 2023, as from 10 a.m. Venue will be Kipkelion East Sub-County Administrator Office Grounds. Signed, Dr. Wesley Kaibor, County Secretary and Head of Public Service. And it was copied to His Excellency the Governor, Dr. Eric Mutai, His Excellency Engineer Frederick Kirui, Deputy Governor, Honorable Ngetich Leonard, CEC Finance, Economic Planning and Head of County Treasury, Honorable Bernard B., CEC Agriculture, Livestock and Cooperative Management, Honorable Brenda B., CEC Health Services, Honorable Rosemary Chepkurui Rob, CEC Water, Energy, Forestry, Environment and Natural Resources, Honorable Cheruyot Brian Langat, CEC Lands, Housing and Physical Planning, Honorable Edna Chepkurui Tonui, CEC Public Service Management. I can see my name, I know, Engineer Eric Ngetich Koech, I think CEC Roads, Honorable Judith Chepkorir Chirchir, CEC Education, Culture, Libraries and Social Services, Honorable Lawrence B., Trade, Industrialization, Cooperative Management, Tourism and Wildlife, and Honorable Daniel Kipkoech Rob, CEC Information, Communication and E-Government, Youth Affairs, Sports. So that one was actually inviting, and I made a follow-up letter, and I think there were several people who attended. I don't know whether Mheshimiwa you attended the issuance of the check.
We were not invited on the same.
We were not invited.
Yes.
So that actually people, those are the people who were invited. They were issuing the checks. So I think we have a sample. Some people who actually gave us some sample checks of what they deposited after they were issued with. I think you can give me the the checks, samples of the checks. Okay, it is not very clear because of the on WhatsApp, but these are the checks of some victims which they deposited in banks. The victims were paid 90,000. I mean, those who had lost their loved ones, 90,000, and the people who had injuries, 60,000. This was 60,000. I think these were the banking slips to confirm that indeed what they had shared here is what was affected. So I'll probably share on WhatsApp later so that you can share the clear document, so that it's clear from the WhatsApp. But further to this, Chair, when these people reach me for complaint, we've already recorded the statements at the DCI. I've recorded myself a statement at DCI Kericho. And these victims have, the families of the people who are affected, about 30 of them have already registered their complaint that the DCM had actually this banking slip and copies of checks. So I think the DCIs and the security are having a meeting in Nakuru, and I was not able. So when I called her, probably on Monday, when she's back, we will photocopy all those things that they've submitted and hand over to you. Is that okay?
Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
Okay.
We welcome further evidence on this.
Okay.
Should you have anything beyond this that you would want this committee to have, we welcome.
Thank you.
Any time within the stipulated time of 7 days.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Then the next is there is a letter, a memo, which was attached to the same documents from Honorable Brenda B., CEC Health Services, to Honorable Leonard Ngetich, CEC Finance and Economic Planning and Head of Treasury. Reference KCO CEC MM 2023 07 2022 dated 18/7/2023. Subject: hospital bills for Londiani accident victims. You have copies? You have the copies? Okay. Subject: hospital bills for Londiani accident victims. The above subject matter refers. Following the discussion at the Governor's office on 18 July 3, here attached are the hospital bills for the road traffic accident victims that at Londiani Junction for your necessary action. Thank you, Honorable Brenda B., CEC Health Services, Kericho, copied to His Excellency the Governor, Deputy Governor, Dr. Wesley Bor. So the bill, Kericho County Government of Kericho, Kericho County Referral Hospital. So when you look at Londiani accident victims bill, date, patient number, name, amount, and status. So we have on 30th 06, patient number 67998, Daniel Mwangi Kitata, amount 172,362. He's still at the ward by that time. 0107, Susan Wambui Miria, she's at home. The amount is 132,200. And so all those patients going all the way up to Mercy Chelangat, who is dead now, the one I said, because she arrived here. Remember, I did mention that there was a lady whose limbs remained in the accident scene, and she was brought here, but she unfortunately succumbed. A bill was 41,900. The total is 1,880,336. Then we have again Londiani Sub-County Hospital. Items used during the incident on 30th 06/2023. Non-farms, pharmaceuticals, electricity, fuels, refreshments, and facilitation. Number, non-pharmaceuticals, quantity, unit cost, total. So you have IV sets, 200, that costs 5,000. All through items up to 16. Safety books, cleaning gloves, yellow liners, everything is documented. It goes all the way up to the drugs. And the items are totaling up to 33. Then we have electricity. For example, electricity on that day costed 200,000. And fuel costed 135,800. Total is that. Then staff debriefing, refreshment, and psychological counselors, facilitation. We have 350,000. So total is 1,534,190. If you look at the distribution, on how they share the money, this is the figure they picked from Londiani Hospital of 1,534,190 and inserted on the approved document for payment. You are able to get there, Chair? You are there? Because I'm referring 1,534,534, that is for Londiani. Then there is another one which is not clear. County government of Kericho County Referral Hospital of 157,180, which now, 188. If you total the first bill of 1.8, the first, that is the bill on Kericho County Referral Hospital, 1,880,336. And you add 157,188, that is now what gives you 2,037,524. So I think I'm done with that. Then request for supply. We have a letter from Edgar Towet to Alphonse Kipkurui-Rotich, Executive Officer of the Governor, from Chief of Staff, Head of County, and Head of County Delivery Unit. Reference COK, CO Finance, Volume 1, 111, dated 3rd July 2023. Request for supply and delivery of items for county government function. Following the Grizzly Road accident at Londiani Junction, which occurred on 30th June 2023 and claimed 52 lives and several others left injured, a memorial service has been planned and scheduled for Tuesday 4th at Londiani Town Grounds. This is therefore to request for the supply and delivery of the items as follows. So you have the dome, one dome, decoration, stage, VIP holding, flowers, red carpet, banquet, all those items. And they've been given the quantities. Then, number 1, approved. CEO Finance, kindly consider this under emergency. And it was signed 5/7/23. Then number 2 is after consultation, that is on the notes which are made on the letter. After consultation, it was decided to be paid under the fundraising kitty. And the receipt, that is Supertrix.
Maybe through the chair. Is it under emergency or under kitty that was fundraised?
You know, number 1,
yes.
The note number 1 initially was from emergency.
emergency kitty.
But you see note number 2 on the same person. I think this is now Alphonse. If I'm not wrong, is Alphonse noting. Is that number 1 to CEO Finance approved. CEO Finance, he approved it and sent it to, and say that it should be paid from emergency. But later, yes, it is.
I think, Chairman, I'm not in receipt of that. Oh, it's the main one, eh?
The main one.
Thank you.
Yeah, the main document. So if you see initially, Chair, initially this dated 5/7/2023 was to be paid under emergency. But later now, on 19/7, it was decided to be paid from the fundraiser kit. So
now let me ask a question. You said it was decided.
no, I'm saying this one, number 2.
Yeah, number 2. You said at first it was supposed to be.
According to this note.
Yes.
It was through emergency.
Okay.
That was on 5/7/2023.
Then later on.
Now, from this letter that I have and I received with these other documents, it was, after consultation, it was decided to be paid under the fundraising kit.
Now, the consultation. Is there any minutes or anything regarding that or anything so that a decision was made?
The first minutes that shared now there.
Okay.
Okay. Mheshimiwa, that is now referring, that is now it is taking back to that minute. That is, yeah. Now meaning that the distribution on this page, I mean, the distribution here is now referred here. And then there is the invoice from the Supertrix Entertainment Limited, dated 4/07/2023, to the county government of Kericho. Provision of hire of tents, chairs, PA system, lighting, screens, raised stage, and decoration for Londiani mass service prayer at Londiani. 2.945 million. And it is stamped Supertrix Entertainment or ENT, PO Box 181 2200 Kericho. Dated 4th and signed. VAT 16%, VAT is not there. Then the total is 2,945,000. That is the invoice from Supertrix. Then the quotation, which they submitted. The quotation was from Supertrix, quote, Kericho, Supertrix Limited, Kericho, Kenya, bill to Kericho County Government. Subject, Londiani mass service. And these are things now which also made me to, because here it is billed to Kericho, but they billed to the fund, the fundraiser fund.
It's like they're appealing to 2 entities now.
Yeah.
The Kericho and the fund kit. So maybe, DG, in your own opinion, do you think this person might have been paid twice, either from the kitty and at the same time from, what's your take?
It's now up to the committee to decide, because I'm presenting this to you.
Thank you.
DG, there was also something that I wanted to ask. If
I don't know whether you've seen in the quote, they've given the items all through, and then at the VAT details, they've written exempt. And the only person who can give exempt is KRA. So we'll also want to know whether this company is exempted from paying taxes.
Okay, so DG, I wanted to ask something on the 1.8 million that was said is for the victims. Have you tried to look for the information, especially those ones who are in hospital as we speak? For example, we visited that place yesterday, and somebody by the name Jerry had a waived bill of 78,000. But from this document that you have just given us, Mercy Jerry was her bill is 120. Does it mean they were doing guesswork while preparing that document to the tune of 1.8?
I think, Mheshimiwa, that is why I've submitted these documents now to the committee, so that the committee will, after collecting various information, make your own independent judgment.
Chair. Through the chair, Your Excellency, maybe a follow-up question on the Supertrick company, as this a company who is pre-qualified, or which method was it used to give a tender? And the same, is it under RFQ, or was it bidded, committed for the same? And
the quote is, usually, okay, I don't want to divulge so much, but
okay. Just cover.
You see the quote date, it's 03 July 2023. But what probably I understand is usually under such, there is a framework contract. So this company was not supposed to give us the quote. They were supposed to be written to, that based on the pre-qualification done on this date, and it was approved, which was approved by the tendering committee, kindly supply the following based on that quote. Then after that now, these are things now which qualify under framework contract. But you don't give me a quote that day, meaning these people are not pre-qualified. You cannot give a government a quote that day and they supply you. You are supposed to be the one instructing that do this. So the pre-qualification is supposed to have been done way ago, not because of the accident.
So at one point, Supertrick has been doing services to the county government. You're not aware.
I'm not aware.
Thank you.
So I think those are things now you will be able to.
Now, I would like to know whether there was a meeting or a decision made to procure or even to get the services. Is there any meeting? Is there any communication within the offices?
No, I don't have. Chairman, I think
Thank you, Your Excellency.
There is more, three more documents.
Do you still have something?
Yeah, I want to finalize.
Kindly proceed.
Yeah. Then there is another document. To Mr. Alphonse Kipkurui Rotich from Edgar Towet. That is dated 3rd July. CG, that's reference number CG OK, stroke COS, stroke FIN, volume 1, in bracket 112, supply, request for supply and delivery of items for county government function. Following the Grizzly Road accident at Londiani Junction, which occurred on 30th and claimed 2 lives and several others left injured, the motor survey fundraiser has been planned and scheduled for Tuesday, 4th July at Londiani Town Ground. This is therefore to request for the supply and delivery of items as follows. B, linen tent, 50-seater, VIP, chairs, banquets, all those items up item number 10. Signed by Edgar, Chief of Staff and Head of County Delivery Unit. Approved. CEO Finance, kindly consider this under emergency again. That is note number 1. And then number 2, after consultation, it was decided to be paid from the fundraising kitty. That was on 9. And when you look at, that was for Supershine. Kericho County Office of the Governor, 4/7/2023. That is billing and tents, 50-seater, all those are priced. And the total is 411,000. Super Shine Planners, telephone that 0792917779 received. So again, these companies are paying without taxes and anything. And then on the next letter is supply and for there is this from Edgar Towet, Chief of Staff and Head of Public Unit, Alphonse Kipuriro Teach, CGK, COS, PIN, Volume 1, 110, 3rd July 2023. Request for supply and delivery of items for count following the Grizzly Road accident at Londiani Junction, which occurred on 30th, and claimed 52 lives and several others left injured. A more service camp fundraiser has been planned and scheduled for Tuesday at Londiani. This is therefore request for the supply and delivery of items as follows: VIP lunches for 100 persons. And I think this is now what he is attaching to that receipt. Then the next...
Maybe through the chair. The second note, who was writing these notes? The first one is CEO Finance. What about the second one? Or the same person?
Yeah.
The same person. The approvals, these notes.
Yeah, same. I think it's
the same person.
It's the person written to as Alphonse.
Okay.
Then we have a Race Limited invoice, County Government of Kericho, on 7/4/2023, 100 lunches for 100 people, and it was paid 100,000. And then we have Office of the President, Ministry of Interior and National Administration. Reference number of the letter is D3, Volume 2/51, dated 18. Received at the County Secretary Office on 18. And the letter is dated 18th July 2023. The County Secretary, addressed to County Secretary, Kericho County Government. Dear Sir, budget spent during the Londiani Junction accident. Attached herewith, please find the budget spent during the accident that occurred on 30th July 28, I think that's, 18, 2023 at Londiani Junction for your action. Stephen O. Orinde for County Commissioner. There is an inclusion there of budget spent during the Londiani Junction accident. Fuel, 150,000. Security meetings, 60,000. Lunches and refreshments, 60,000. Airtime, 30,000. Total, 300,000. And when you look at the letter top there, pay, please pay. Geoffrey Mayek, County Commander, Kenya shilling 300,000. Dr. Bor. Yeah, that's the County Secretary. Yes. Yes.
Okay,
then the other one is the final. Is to Honorable Leonard Ngetich, CEC Finance and Economic Planning, from CS Betsy Kirui, CEO Lands and Physical Planning and Acting CEO Public Service. Reference number KEC PSM 6/33, dated 13 January 2023, and then there is another date of 18th July 2023. Facilitation, Londiani accident. The above subject matter refers. Kindly facilitate the Department of Public Service Management, which actively participated in assisting those affected during the unfortunate incident on Friday, the 30th June 2023 at Londiani Junction, and ground preparation for the victims' fundraising held on 4th July at Londiani Stadium. Pastors facilitation fee, 100,000. Transport refund for 12 ward administrators and 2 sub-county administrators for 7 days, 98,000. Field preparation, cleaning, grass cutting, and garbage collection, 32,000. Lunches and refreshment for the rescue team and administrators on site for 7 days, 125,000. Printing, publishing, and local radio announcements, 68,000. Total, 423,000. CS Bet 6 Kirui, CO Lands and Physical Planning, and Acting CO Public Service Management. CC2, Honorable Edna Kirui Tonui, CM Public Service Management, and Dr. Wesley Board, PhD County Secretary and Head of Public Service. So those are the documents that I received. And from the analysis, after analyzing it, I realized that the money that was meant for the victims was indeed misappropriated. And that is why I'm calling upon this committee to give justice to the victims and the families of the people who are affected at Londiani. I went through and I was shocked myself. And we have already, I've already registered this document at the DCI, because immediately I raised an alarm. This document was treated to be fake documents. That is why I took the step of taking it to the DCI so that it is investigated whether indeed it is fake. We've also had several victims coming to register that they were indeed paid 90,000 from the kitty that was raised. And I think myself, the reason why I have concern is the money that was raised there was meant for the victims, the families of the people who are affected. And I think they need to be given back their money.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for that wonderful submission. From the records we have, Your Excellency.
I think there is a speech which was read by the County Secretary on Monday.
Before the speech, Chairman, before the speech, I want to request His Excellency, at least, I'm interested. I want to know the reason why you decided, or what inspired you to prosecute this matter in court of public opinion, especially in a funeral. What encouraged you? I'm interested to know before the speech.
Thank you. I think this money was raised under public. It was raised as a public. Everybody was aware. And the reason why I prosecuted it that way is because this was public money from an Arambe, whereby always after an Arambe, even in the villages, it is usually announced that this much has been collected. But for this one, nothing was given out. Therefore, this was supposed to be a public document so that the public are aware that people have been paid this. So there is nothing that we need to hide for real if the correct thing had been done. And that is why, to me, I didn't want cover up on the same issue, because we know that when things are done here and there, people start preparing papers here and there. And that is why on Monday I came and registered at the DCI so that no any other document can be produced other than this document.
Okay, thank you. So through the chair also, so you decided to do that because it is something that is meant for the public. So number two is that before you do that as a principal assistant to the governor, was there any things, some of the things that you do, maybe consultations in fighting this committee before you went to the public?
Okay. I want to say that...
Your Excellency, and maybe to committee members, immediately after His Excellency finishes his submission, we would want to proceed to the questions direct, so that we are systematic and organized, so that also we keep time. So I would wish to give His Excellency the Deputy Governor a chance to go through the speech, finishes the submissions, then we go to question and answer session.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I think there was a press release by the county secretary. The county, in collaboration with the national government, organized a successful fundraiser for victims of Londiani accidents to provide both material and emotional support. The fundraiser planning committee comprised the county executive, the national government through the county commissioner office, and the respective elected leaders in our county. For prudent use of the resources, a committee was formed and pay bill established, linked to the county donation account. The purpose of the pay bill was for the well-wishers to contribute their donation. The pay bill is still open, and the committee will be doing a close-out report once all the targeted beneficiaries are settled. The accident claimed 53 lives and injured 24 who are admitted in various health facilities. The paramedics that participated in the rescue effort suffered post-traumatic stress. In response to this, the medical team has planned continued psychological support to the affected families and paramedics through the Department of Public Service Management and Health Services. During the fundraiser, His Honorable Dr. Eric Mutai promised and waived mortuary fees and the treatment cost for all the victims of Londiani accident. However, we still have critically ill patients and undergoing specialized treatment which requires further surgeries. The cost of treatment and medication continues to accrue to date. Some victims had their lower limbs amputated and requires rehabilitation to restore their normal lives. The committee has set aside the funds to support the continued specialized treatment and rehabilitation until they are fully recovered and discharged. Some of the victims lost their motorbikes and also small businesses at the site of the accident. The committee established that motorbikes and business were not insured. The committee has allocated funds for the purchase of new motorbikes to be distributed this week. We appreciate the National Police Service, the County Disaster Management Unit, and the Sub-County Administrator's Office for their dedicated service in rescue and coordination of the exercise. I wish to confirm that no donation money was paid to County Commissioner Office or our officers in form of allowance. In addition to the national government support of 300,000 to the bereaved families, the county donation kitty provided Kenya shilling 90 to make a total of Kenya shilling 390. Further, the national government provided 200,000 to the survivors, an additional under county donation kitty of 60,000 to the 24 survivors. Six of the victims submitted names that were not correctly matching their official names as appeared in their identification card. This caused delays in disbursing their funds. I also wish to invite our Deputy Governor, His Excellency Engineer Fred Kirui, to take time off his busy schedule to come back to the county government of Kericho and confirm firsthand the progress made in addressing the plight of the Londiani victims and families and other matters of development in the county. His presence will help in providing the residents of Kericho and public with accurate and verifiable information. And that is what I have done exactly today.
Okay, Chairman.
I wish that we proceed to questions, and I would wish that since a senior ranking member here would want to attend some issues outside, I would wish to start with him. Then, for the purpose of this case, you answer him. Then the rest of the questions you will take from my left, all of them, address. Then to my right, all of them. Then you address. Then we clear the matter. Thank you so much. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Chair. Let me take this opportunity to also thank the DG, His Excellency, for finding time to appear before this very important Adhoc committee that was constitutionally formed by the County Assembly to look at and investigate various allegations pertaining the Londiani accident. Chairman, I want to ask some few questions or seek clarification. One of my questions, Chairman, is what the Honorable Albert has asked. Article 179 of the Constitution of Kenya states that the executive authority of a county is vested and is exercised by the county executive. The county executive in this case is headed by the governor and of course the deputy governor. In the same Article 179, Section 5 says that when the county governor is of course absent, the county deputy governor takes over in an acting capacity. And of course, now that all these issues is domiciled under the county government and the national government, as the county deputy governor, after realizing that there was lapses in what took place in Londiani, which steps did you take, of course, before going to the court of public opinion, as has been alluded by the Honorable Albert, because you are close, you are the second in command. Before things went to the public, what action did you took, especially to inform your boss and of course the CECs, because you are the first advisor to the governor? Secondly, as you narrated what took place in Londiani, it was horrific, and our prayers and thoughts are still with the affected families. You said when you are called, you did fuel your vehicle. You put fuel of 2,000 shillings to your vehicle. In essence, as the second in command, you get facilitated by the county government. You are a property of the county. Why did you decide to fuel your vehicle with 2,000 shillings to rush to Londiani to see what took place in Londiani, and yet you are second in command? Then thirdly, you said that you called the CEC, which was good, the CEC Health. And the CEC received your phone calls and mobilized all the ambulances to the Londiani to go and assist the victims of that accident. In this matter also, when you got information from the members of the public that this money was not well spent, did you had an opportunity to inform either the committee that was doing this work in Londiani, just like the way you did call the CEC in charge of health to facilitate the taking of those ambulances to Londiani? Then thirdly, did you take part, tell us briefly, did you take part in, were you part of the committee that organized the fundraiser in Londiani? Were you present during the fundraising? How much did you contributed during the fundraising? Were you part of the committee that did the fundraising? Then finally, Chairman, is that you have provided this committee with very important information that somehow will assist the committee in doing its work, especially the copies of the checks that were given to the victims. Do you have a copies also of evidence that the county government, especially the two facilities, the county referral hospital and the Londiani sub-county hospital, any evidence that the county paid this much to those facilities? Were they paid through the checks or what, or inter-county transferred? Then maybe finally, where were this money kept? The money that was collected during the fundraiser, where was this 13 million kept? Which account? Or was it in cash? Where is it? Is it in a drawer? You know, how was this money kept before they were distributed? Of course, I'm asking this question as the second in command. You know, you are the deputy governor. You must know some of this information. So thank you, Chairman.
Chairman, can he answer us the two we hand up so that he can answer? Oh. Close your chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman. I think thank you very much, Honorable Ruyot. I know under Article 179, it is indeed, and I had mentioned earlier, that I'm the principal assistant to the governor. And the Constitution actually indicates that you can only do certain functions once you've been assigned. And the assignment is through in writing. So for this committee, I was not part of the committee that arranged and also deliberated on the Londiani accident. The other thing is, I did mention that I fueled my car, and it is on record. I think I have evidence. I didn't come with it here. I've been fueling the official car to come to my office and also go to functions using my own resources. I've written a letter to the governor, which I did around April, indicating to him that I've been facilitating myself, repairing the car, which has seriously affected my operations. That is why, you know, when you are fueling on your own, it becomes very difficult. I tried severally to write letters to the CEO in charge of, that is through my PA, to the CEO in charge of the county governor. I mean the executive office, or the executive office of the governor, which I'm part of it. But those letters were returned back to us, indicating that we need to use the right channel. So we didn't understand which right channel. Of course, because of that, we don't want to deliberate on to that matter. Because for today, I was only coming to provide evidence and information about Londiani. I did try. You know, the reason why I'm saying they don't usually pick. That day I tried. I always try. So luckily that day, CC Health picked. And I told her, kindly, there is a serious issue that has happened. Accident. We need assistance and also mobilization of the staff. I tried, always trying to reach the CC Finance, CEO. It has been very difficult. And I don't want to dwell into that so much because we are all elected under the same article. You know, the governor is elected, the deputy governor is elected, and we are prone to serve the people who elected us. And I mean, in discharging our duties. And this one, of course, it is not anticipated. It is not a role that is in the Constitution, but because we are leaders, we all rushed there to assist. And that is what probably the reason why this one is, you know, this was a fundraiser. That is, anybody could contribute. I contributed 50,000. But within that week alone, I used over another 50,000 because the following day again, I had to fuel the vehicle because the CS and other leaders were in Londiani. I fueled again, come to Kericho, and several other. So you can see it's not an easy thing because you have to be there to actually give moral support. You see, under this, we were giving moral support to the people who are injured. And you know, our political, our political obligation doesn't only rest with our duties that are assigned in the Constitution. It goes beyond. That means we serve the public. The other thing is I am not aware of how much, whether the checks from the distribution, because this is a county to county. I don't know whether it was transferred directly or paid through a check. The money that was collected, I think I have no information on which account. I know all accounts that are opened by the county executive are supposed to be approved by the assembly. And that is why at times there is a committee which was formed by His Excellency the Governor. And I don't know whether, I think it will be up to you, whether that, because to me, if I'm called to appear before that committee, I might be hesitant, because this is a legally constituted committee. The other one is illegal because it has to be approved by the assembly. You know, we can't be just operating in an environment that we do things also in the executive without being checked by the. You see, the roles are very clear. That the assembly needs to check the executive. So the basis of appointing 5 or 6 number, is it something that is legal? Why 6? Why not 10? Why not 20? And when there is something like that, who are the members? You see, when the committees are being appointed, for example, here, there were certain bases. I can see the chair for health. There is a majority leader. There is a certain standing procedure of appointments. We don't just wake up one morning. And that is why you deliberated on the committee at the floor of the House. So I think we need to rise above. Of course, myself, I've raised above politics, and I play my role. Even today, I've come here because my official vehicle service has expired, so many things, but I still had to come and appear before the committee.
Chair, and a follow-up question on the same before Honorable Halpert. I'm very concerned, Your Excellency, on this Article 179 of the Constitution of Kenya. And there's some very, you see, the reason why you're being CC, copy 2. I think this document, even from the word go, you could have acted on an advisory part. Should have not gone to a part of execution. So I want to believe that what is the reason why you never made any approval, any comment on the same copy? Because after you provided us these copies, we've seen that it has been CC's, Finance, CC, Deputy Governor. And I want to believe that maybe you want to distance yourself from your role. As a Deputy Governor, you are the principal assistant of the Governor. If this government fails, you're also on the same boat, Your Excellency. So can you make a clarity? The reason why you never made a recommendation on this document before it was executed. Number 2, Your Excellency. In normal practices, we've seen that whereby the ward administrator is given, is being facilitated. I need your opinion on this. Can you give us an opinion? Is it right for the ward administrator to be facilitated on this same duty, which is doing the duties of a county? Number 2, on the same note, there is a facilitation of the pastors. What is your opinion on the same? Is it right for the collection, like donation, to facilitate the pastors and, of course, the ward administrators? So just give us a clarity before you move on. Thank you.
Through the chair, one question. Your Excellency, maybe you signed the oath of secrecy, and here you are now a whistleblower. Does that contradict what you signed in the oath of secrecy, especially now that we are dealing with matters, executions, and you're one of the people at the cabinet at the other side as an executive? I think that's the first question. Then later on, I will do a follow-up question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, I would like to know from you, when 13.6 million was raised, it was meant for the victims. And you came as a whistleblower that money was misappropriated or maybe misused. Maybe, in my opinion, I'm also interested to know maybe the ideal situation that should have been. How was this money supposed to be utilized? Because we like to know that. How is it supposed to be utilized? Number two, who was supposed to foot the bills that was from hospital, all those expenditures that was spent? We would like to know, because all we are interested here is the truth. We want to see accountability. We want to see everything laid down barely, because you see, we are dealing with people who are pained. Some are still healing. There is also another question of, I would like to know from you, because when you look at the documents, you scrutinized everything, then maybe you came up with an answer. One, was money stolen? Number two, was it misused? Is there a misstatement or misappropriation? Because we need to actually keenly look at that, so that we can be able to know whether there was misuse of money, misstatement, or stealing. Because one of it can appear. Number two, regarding there was an issue that maybe we still need further clarification. When this money was collected, maybe from your side, did you maybe get maybe where it was banked? Maybe if there is any bank, which account in the county government, and how has it been spent so far? We need to know whether you have those information, so that we can be able to link. Again, there is the issue of the victims. You see, I saw around 5 million was spent on the victims. 8 million was on other expenses. What is the role of the county government in helping the victims, so that we can be able to see if there was an effort to be able to foot this other bill? Because my interest in where I represent the people who suffered most is they should have gotten maybe the highest benefit, in my opinion. But I'm seeing the county government is taking the largest share of 8 million. I would like to know that. Thank you.
Okay, Chair.
Thank you very much, Chair. I want to say the question which has been raised, or the issue concern which has been raised by Honorable Maji about Article 179. And I've stated very clearly that as a deputy assistant principal to the governor, I cannot assign myself roles without being given that assignment by the governor. For example, if there is a meeting that is going on and I was not invited to that meeting, of course I will not get in. That is why even when he's absent, I don't just assume that he's absent. He will give me through writing that on this particular date, to this particular date, I'll not be in office. And that is when now I'll be assuming the roles of the deputy, the roles of the governor, when the governor is absent. So on that particular day concerning this issue, this is money that was raised through charity, and that is why probably the account which is supposed to go is on the same. And to me, the way this money was used, I think Honorable has indicated whether it was misused. It was stolen. Because if somebody is declaring 29,000 in pay bill, and the pay bill from records here and there is not giving us that means the money was stolen. And we should not go around or anything. This money, even if now people are saying that it is being brought back, it had been stolen. So being recovered or bringing it back doesn't mean it was there. Already the file of that, if I didn't raise that thing, already the file had been closed. So we shouldn't sugarcoat anything. It is very clear that the governor, in fact, I called my colleague from Nakuru because he attended the fundraiser on behalf of the governor. That is His Excellency Dr. Hones. And they brought 250,000. And he told me bills for Nakuru will be waived. I called him because I was trying to find out. I don't know whether the committee will go there and find information, but what he told me is that once they indicated that it will be waived, it will be waived. And waiving means we will waive back the executive. And my boss also, governor, indicated that the hospital bills and everything was going to be waived. So what we were expecting is once this letter, the bill was brought by the CC to the committee was supposed now to escalate the letter to the cabinet, then it is waived at the cabinet, then the assembly is informed that this one was undertaken. It is a procedural. You see, this is a government. We don't just operate in the darkness. So that even when the auditors come, they know Londiani, the amount of money that was supposed to go to the victims. So they are very much aware that they waived. And therefore, what do? Let us pocket now the fundraiser. Because the families don't need the money. They will just come and take their patient and go home. And that is how they were distributing so that they took the money. But when the money was being raised, when the money, everybody was going there to contribute. In my mind, when I was contributing my 50,000, I knew it was going to the victim. I mean to the families of the victims. How about the tent here has been indicated 2.9 million. Assuming we had raised 1 million. Are we going to follow the families of the victims and tell them the tent is 2 million, now we still need more money from you people? Because the quotation came before the fundraiser. The quotation came on third. So assuming we had raised 2 million, are we going to follow the patients in the hospital and tell them, sasa pesa hii kutosha, ilaenda kwa yama yote, we need more money? That is the question we are asking ourselves. On about the oath of secrecy, under the 2010 Constitution, that is why this thing is being held in. I think we are alive. There is nothing that is being hidden. Why do you hide any information? What are you planning? That is why our proceedings, which are very critical at times, they go live. When people are being interviewed, you go live. So I think the secrecy was in the past constitution. It is not under this one. And there is no way we were sworn to take oath of secrecy. You only make sure that you discharge your duty as per the constitution. Then the other thing is on facilitation. The ward administrators are employed. The county government of Kericho provides them with the transport. They were on duty, unless it was on a Saturday or on a Sunday, whereby there is probably they can claim overtime or any other. But you are only facilitated when you go outside. Even, for example, myself today here, I cannot claim sitting allowance. I'm within my county. On pastors, I think on that day it was very clear. We had two sort of collections. We had the fundraiser and we had also the DACA, which we are not asking. And we are not going that direction. It is them now to share what was collected on that day. But what we are following is for the victim. I don't know.
Okay, Your Excellency.
Chairman.
Okay, I think I think, Chairman, you have to balance also this committee. Your Excellency, I've been waiting for you to comment and really apologize for the public since that you are alive, and even seek for forgiveness on behalf of the county government. But it's unfortunate. I think that might be your closing remarks. Your Excellency, who constituted this committee? That is my question, because it is purely county government of Kericho executive side. And remember, we have the MCS coming from those areas where the victims are resident. Your Excellency, kindly tell this committee or share with this committee which bank account was this fundraising funds were deposited. Your Excellency, were you invited to any said meeting from the correspondence of the letters held at Governor's boardroom or any of the said venues? Your Excellency, I think this one is the second last question. Was it right for the county secretary to indicate that in addition of the national government support of 300,000 to deceased and 200,000 for those who are affected badly? Is it? I think this was not the county donation kit. It was a fundraiser. That is number 13. If you can see number 13, my questions comes from here. Since that you are the principal assistant of the governor, and this question I think you can answer it well, very well. Was it right for the county secretary to indicate that it was the county donation kit? I thought that was a fundraising in Londiani, and that marks that it was a fundraising and it was not a donation. If it was a donation, we could have come to the county government asking for the account so that we deposit our donation. But we had to go to Londiani for a fundraising. So I think one, you'll correct there for as the wait a minute. Okay, the last one, Your Excellency. In any case, have you managed to interact with one of the committee members to know the further findings of these issues coming up as because if you are not invited, have you just managed to have one of the committee member or two to interact whether that this that we are having in letters was approved? Kindly. But meanwhile, thank you, Your Excellency, for standing firm and providing this. I don't know whether it is evidence, but we will find out when we will be interrogating with the other members invited to appear before this committee.
Thank you, Chair. Chairman. Thank you, Chair. We are still on this side, please. Thank you, Chair. Your Excellency, thank you for your elaborate presentation. My only question is, was this Arambe a state function or a county function? And secondly, who was to pay for these bills? Is it national, like tents, refreshment, transport, as we have had, lunches, decoration, as we have had? Was it the national government who was to pay or the county government? Thank you.
I just have one question. And how did you know the funds belonging to the Londiani victims were being misused? And also, how did you come out with this amount of money, 13.6? Guided with your own wisdom, can you give us who came out with this figure of 13.6? Who came out with this figure? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Your Excellency, as the Principal Assistant to the Governor, what advice can you give the Governor on this?
Thank you very much, Chair, honorable members. The Constitution, I think, by Mheshimiwa Matthew, the constitution of the committee is supposed to be done by the governor himself. That's why I've said all the appointments. If you read the constitution, the deputy governor is not supposed to make any appointments. If I say today I've appointed so and so, it will be in breach of the constitution. It is actually the responsibility of the governor to appoint and also dismiss any committee members. I don't have any account number that the money was banked to, and I was not invited to any meeting. I only got copies, that is copy 2, of what I received, which I've now I use it as a form of evidence to this committee, the Adhoc committee. I think so that I merge with the same by Mheshimiwa Gikonyo. How I knew that the money is being misused is through the distribution. Wakati tulienda huko raise pesa, we went there to raise money for the families of the affected, not for the tent, not for. If we had been told, if I had been told myself that we are going to raise money for the tent, I couldn't have come, because I will definitely have known that my money was going to be misappropriated. So I was going there to assist the family. That is actually what everybody else went there to do. If we knew that the tent was going to cost this much, usually what we do, even when we had the fundraiser for the border previously, usually waheshimiwa tunachangana na tunaleta hema ya 50,000, then we set a good tent for the VIP, for the deputy president and the rest. And as we could sit huku kando kando on a cheaper, if that money was not there. But because the deputy president was attending, and also the county, there was nothing wrong if we had a procured framework for tents, for dome, for everything. So that is budgeted for. And I think that is a budget which you've passed. Usually passed. We bring usually supplementary budget or anything. I'm not saying that they couldn't have had a dome there or the tent there. But that one is supposed to have been paid for from a different kitty. The reason why I have a problem is, why are they paying from the fundraiser? And definitely, they were doing this for them to eat. No, it was easy to eat this one. And if you go further, this race hotel, I usually take my tea there. They were actually paid, they paid 40 people. They paid for 40 people. You go and ask. I asked that day, are you paid for 100 people? They say, no, they reduced the number and paid for 40 people. I want you to stand above all these things and let us clean our county. I think based on the advice that Mheshimiwa Dora has raised, as the principal assistant to the governor, is we need all these people who participated in this to be accountable. They need to be accountable. Because if they are not accountable on such money, how about now the other money, the other budget? We have over 1 million people in Kericho County. We can hire others to take these roles. We can hire other people to take these roles. We need not to have people who are stealing from us. You cannot steal from somebody who has died. It is very wrong, even culturally. If we tukifunika hii kitu, it will eat us. And that is why, the reason why I raise this thing is, in us, in our culture, they say, if you see something and you close your eyes and go, it will eat my children. I have children. I'm a parent. You are also parents. So myself, I have cleaned my hands. If you mukifunika, nishauri zenu. I don't want to. Then the other thing is, I don't know. I think I've answered. Huh? Oh yeah, sorry, Mheshimiwa. Yeah, there is. it was actually joint because the deputy president was there, and national leaders, MPs from across, and also the county government was. So the paying of the tent and other facilitation, those are things that were supposed to have been discussed. And you see from the initial letters, you can see it was indicating very well that pay from the emergency. I didn't have any problem. If it could have stopped there, we couldn't be here. You see here, kindly, note number 1. CEO, and it's indicated to CEO of Finance, meaning the CEO of Finance has this kitty. Kindly consider this under emergency. You're seeing a shida, but now you come again.
Through the chair, allow me to interject. Did the CEO of Finance get these letters? Did the CEO of Finance get these letters? At least so that we can see if he noted something.
Definitely, because CEO of Finance.
Because from that letter, as you can see, Alphonse is the one who requested that CEO of Finance
so
do
it has
something
to go
under
to
emergency.
Finance.
Yeah, so that's why I'm asking. Did CEO of Finance get these notes and then at least write something before it comes back to the...
If you go to the main document, and these letters are attached the way they are, so it is from Dr. Whistleblowing to CEO Finance. So the CEO Finance is the one who made the payment. Facilitation, everything was actually made. You have the...
Yes, I have.
So it is written.
But there is another one also from Whistleblowing to Nyatich Leonard. Because this one was 19th June. Maybe they were correcting it. But
they were correcting the date.
Yes, but this one goes specifically to Leonard. This one for the date 19th July. This one goes direct to Leonard.
All these people have to bear responsibility. First, they didn't give us the correct amount. The pay bill figure is wrong. So, I don't know. Anyway.
Thank you so much, Excellency, for answers. So I would wish to give the Honorable Majority Leader. Then we come this way as we close.
Thank you very much, Chair. And once again, the Deputy Governor, welcome. Even as we proceed, my first question, Chair, is to the Deputy Governor is, as a Principal Assistant to the Governor, you are a powerful individual. In fact, you are the second most powerful after His Excellency the Governor on matters county government. Now, all these staffs are below you in order of hierarchy. And I believe you also have the power, maybe to summon, to discipline, to write for them, or to write to them even the show cause letter, in fact, after identifying all this mess. My first question, what steps, other than whistleblowing, what other steps have you taken as a Deputy Governor? Have you wrote to these people? Have you summoned them maybe to appear before you? What is this other step, apart from whistleblowing, have you taken? Number 2, not unless you prove or you inform this House. See, we hear of the allegations. I think now it's supposed, or it's a culture, that you ought to have sit now with His Excellency the Governor and show him all these loopholes that you've presented before the committee today. Have you sat with him maybe and discipline or ask those staff, because all of them are junior, including the county secretary that was chairing this committee. Have they taken, or have you taken any other step aside from this one? Number 2, are you aware of any investigative agency that might have taken up this matter, apart from what we saw? I can confirm we've not received, but we saw in the social media that the Governor formed a task force, maybe to look into this matter. Are you aware of any other, maybe investigative agency that might have ended to investigate the same misappropriation as alleged by you and other people in the social media. Thank you very much, Chair.
Maybe thank you, Chair. With me, exhausted what I was, questions that I had, but I want to wish you the very best as you do everything that is required in the Kericho County. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Your Excellency, sir. I have one question. We all know that prevention is better than cure. Why didn't you chip in to this whole issue before it was late? And why didn't you prevent it? At least you could have gave warning signs that this is happening so that we couldn't be in a mess right now. Or did you wait for the mess to be done first and then now you blew the whistle? Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Your Excellency, I've seen some of the documentation that you have provided. And one of the documentation that I'm interested in is there is an expenditure that happened in Londiani of 1.5 and something, and something. Now, because I would like to know the operations that is happening in the county government. Because you, as our deputy governor, I also understand maybe you are privy to how the county government is running. Because I'm also interested in the costing of medication. The 1.5 million that was supposed to be paid, if it was true, and I know in Londiani, only patients stay there for only 1 day. And it's so sad if this is the case, then we will put you to task also in the executive, because I know you and the governor were elected to represent us. 1.5 million, was it really spent on that day? Is it the cost of medication in Londiani heading to that direction? Number two, there was a question of waiver, because representing the people of Londiani, and you see the sub-county hospital is where we come from. There was a question of waiver. What was the action taken in regards to waiver that was supposed to have been waived? Because 1.5 million is a cost, and we'd like to know the details of the costings in that scenario. Number two is another cost that came in referral hospital, because we want to analyze all the victims wherever they are. There is another cost that also was incurred by Nakuru County. We must put everything right. Nakuru County had around 12 patients. Some were injured and had several injuries. The cost in Nakuru County so far is 360,000. The status is waived. Now, I would like us to relate the difference between Londiani Hospital, Kericho County Hospital, and the bills that are stated here. Because when I see there is a document here on 17 July, which is from Referral Hospital, Londiani accident victims, showing 19 people. While I think in the documents, say 12 are reported to have been admitted here. When you see somebody said ward home, does it mean that the ward is the one who is still in the ward? Home, I don't know what it means to say home. Are they being treated at home, or they were treated and released? Because if you are treated and released and it cost 132,000, then we should go to that's a very sick person. Somebody who is at home and has spent 132,000 is a very serious person. He should be brought back to the hospital. So Actually, we need to see 164,000. He has spent a lot of money and he's at home. Those are the details that we are supposed to know. Again, there is a question of donations by the national government on medication, which was from KEMSA. Nakuru County received 200,000 worth of supplies, and they utilized it very well for implants. Kericho County, I see a document showing, which you can confirm to us, 1.8 million. And still, we have a patient who is still paying for medicine, and they have paid up to 50,000 from their own pocket. As our DG, kindly explain to us, because you see, we are seeing you as our DG, not not our whistleblower. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, and I think I've asked some questions, but mine now is regarding to waivers. Yesterday we went to Nakuru, and when we were in Nakuru, Your Excellency, medical superintendent in Nakuru actually gave us the information concerning waivers, and the big issue was they were able to waive around 366,000 in Nakuru. Now, as a Kericho County government, the governor actually pronounced that he's going to waive the entire amount. What will happen now? Politics aside, me, I'm asking this question as a chairman health. If we are told this money will not be reimbursed back to the department, how are we going to run our normal activities? Because the consumable, pharmaceutical, and the rest will actually be waived. Will it really affect our duties, normal duties in County Referral and Londiani? Because if at all, the normal practices is that when we generate some fund within the hospital, it's normally reimbursed back to the facilities. So I'm asking this in a situation whereby this amount of money, around 3 million, will not be reimbursed back. How are you going to cope up with the situation? Because these are money utilized, these are consumable utilized, and in our budget, Your Excellency, is that you normally budget for entire year. Now you are waiving this big amount of money, if at all it was not paid back. So I want you to give us our matrix in terms of where you look at this fund to be able to reimburse back to the department in the county referral hospitals, and of course Londiani Referral Hospital. Because if you see Londiani, for example, it's a small and institution whereby it is coming up, and if we don't reimburse this amount of money, it will just go in a different direction. So my question is, as a chair, health, I'm very pertinent on where will you get this fund for the waivers, and how will you going to operate your normal practices as a department? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. I think our majority leader indicated that I'm the principal assistant. That's very true. And the power to summon and to rest on the governor. See, if the governor tells his staff that the deputy, you assume him, you'll be assumed. And that's the situation we are in. I don't want to hide, because I've been pushed to a corner, and that is why such challenges are coming out. You see, as a committee, in essence, the chair of such a committee should be the deputy governor. But you see, the chair is the county secretary. So it tells you that there is a problem, and the problem stops with the boss, not the assistant. That is why we need to stand out and be counted in terms of saving our county, so that we put our county on track. And I'm urging this House that some of these pertinent issues you're asking is because the people need to take political responsibility. And the political responsibility of any county stops with the governor. He is on record that what I presented was generated from a cyber. When he made this statement, indicated that what the DG or what the documents that are there from a cyber, and it is not true. These are documents that are in the custody of the county government executive. So some of these things we need to really be very firm when it comes to handling public money, and especially the duties that we are called upon to do. And that is why this money, yes, it is not county money, but the way we handled it depicts that there was theft. What Mheshimiwa Maji has indicated is there was a waiver. And because the accident was not, I mean, the hospital were not waiting for the accident to happen so that you stock it. Already the stock of the medicine and things to be used were there. So the waiver was actually because the budget was going to be exceeded, is now when you now take the process of taking additional, probably in the supplementary budget, which will to be submitted to the assembly, indicates now that the waiver amount of 1.5 was for the accident victims in Londiani. Then you approve it for us now to just a supplementary budget. You see, this is a process. But you see, this document ended here. It was supposed to be shared to the county assembly, because this is now they were spending from an account, so that if we are asking for a waiver, the waiver doesn't just stop at, we are not handling our money. This is not personal money. This is money meant for the public. And the public, as I indicated earlier, need to know how that money is handled. The other thing is...
DG, maybe I stopped you there a little bit. You've said you've been put aside. But I believe, as far as we are concerned, you are still the deputy governor as per the constitution. Assuming, despite the fact, or those are what you've said, you've been put aside. Assuming, after identifying all this mess, assuming you wrote maybe a letter or for all these officers to show cause, what would have happened?
Chair, majority, I already have a letter even here at the county assembly, which I had written complaining about an incident which happened in my office, whereby a key from my driver was taken away. I wrote to the governor, I wrote to the speaker, I wrote to the public service board, and I wrote to the DCI, because the officer mentioned certain things which were very derogatory, that DG atanijua. So the matter is being investigated at the DCI. But the other side, I have not gotten any communication back. And that was a simple matter involving a CEO in our office. So those things, I didn't want to bring them here today, because they are being handled in another level. The issue only was actually to bring this issue. And we don't want to... There is even a letter, but I don't... It could be an illegal document if I bring it before you, which is indicating about the in charge of the executive office of the governor when the governor was absent. But this is an active... I think somebody went to court. and we don't want to deliberate on it. So there are certain things which are happening, which I've written, I'm handling at my level as a deputy. But because this matter now came out, and the county and the assembly felt that it is good to investigate themselves, that's why I appeared as a well-constituted committee.
Thank you, Chair.
Then the other thing is, you indicated how to, I think, Honorable Vincent, and I've indicated that Nakuru County have 12 patients, and the cost from that time up to now is 360. 366, 830. The cost in our hospital for just one night was 150, 1,500,000. This is theft. I'm telling you, this is theft. There is no shortcut. This is theft. And we can't, myself, I'm convinced beyond any reasonable doubt that this is theft. And mark you, when the statement, I'm sure you'll ask for the statement later. This money might not even have gone. The whole of it might not have gone to the account, because it was collected in cash. So the whole of it, if it went to the account, was supposed to be deposited in there. So we want to confirm, I'm sure you'll get these documents because you are the ones now receiving everything, whether the entire amount of money was received indeed in the bank. Because the whole of it was supposed to go to, if it was going to be paid through the bank, the whole of it is supposed to have been deposited in the bank. But if 10 million was deposited, and this amount was not, then why was the rest paid in cash? Those are things now which will probably follow. The bank statements, how the flow of the money. Like, for example, if money was banked this week, and the money was raised on 4th, surely. Some of these families, I'm telling you, Shimiwa, really suffered. You know, these are people, Mama Mboga alikuwa anachoma mahindi na ile jiko. Then Rory kampita. The children were at home. If money has not been shared up to today, what is it doing? The national government, and we want to thank our president. We were given information that the national government will pay 300,000 when we were there, for people who lost their loved ones, all the families, and 200,000 for each family that had a survivor. All of them were paid within 2 days. Now they are adding this one to make sure that the figure looks. You see, this is confusing the general public. So that the public watakuwa wanasema, so walikuwa wanasema they will be paid 300, but ni kama wamelipwa 390. So engineer is lying, which is not true. Engineer is trying to get the truth of this matter. And then,
okay, Chairman.
Kemsa, when we were in Nakuru.
One thing, you alluded that governor amesema your documents inatoka cyber. Kwa hii kamiti, utaambia nini kamiti? Tutaita nani atupe yenye inatoka kwa ofisi?
It is up to you. I don't want to give you direction on who to invite. Of course, you invited me on my capacity. It is the chair who knows whom to be invited. So, Chair, I think probably I hand back to you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for your time. I wish to give to my Vice Chair to maybe comment and give the final remarks.
So, thank you so much, Chair. I'm a teacher by profession. That is why I love standing. Thank you, our Deputy Governor, for availing yourself to this committee. Thank you, committee members, for asking objective questions. And I think this one will go a long way in assisting us in the fact-finding mission. So much has been asked, and those questions were very valid, so that at this particular juncture, I don't have what to ask because the members here have exhausted. But there is one thing that keeps on coming back to my heart and the mind, what if the deputy governor had someone, for example, after receiving the documentation, what if he acted in his capacity? Will he be here? So those are some of the things that keeps troubling my heart. And thank you so much. Thank you.
I wish to give to you, Your Excellency, to make your final remarks as we close on this session.
Thank you very much, Chair. I want to take this opportunity to once again appreciate in a big way the committee for being very objective. The members have really shown a lot of objectivity in unraveling this matter. And I want to say that you have my full support. Further information will always be available because we want to steer this county and make sure that the people of this county feel the leadership. And I appreciate the leadership of the county assembly for the swiftness in actually they took in addressing this issue. And I will also be waiting for the final report because it is important. It will guide us in future activities under such activities. And I appreciate, Chair, the patience you've had engaging, and I appreciate all the members. Mimi kwangu nasema nashukuru, and as MP, the Mheshimiwa from Chai, Matthew, had indicated, I want to take this opportunity to apologize on my behalf and as the Deputy Governor for Kericho County to the families of the victims of Londiani accident, because we are not supposed to have gotten to this point. There are still, some families are still mourning. Some families still have their loved ones in hospital. Some ones are still at home nursing injuries. And it is very unfair that we are here deliberating on something that it was supposed to be, even in the villages there, we usually share the money arambe in one touch. Jioni, mtu anaambiwa hii itakuwa ile. This is very unfortunate. You know, when I also look at the committee, Moses comes from, the chair comes from Londiani. I'm sure your area was affected. You are supposed to be part of the committee because you represent these people. Vincent was supposed to be part of the committee. Siglai was here. In fact, I was discussing with Siglai one time, and he told me he tried raising to people here, friends, that pesa ya nini ni kama imekuwa challenge kidogo. He was dismissed. So probably those are people you are supposed to be part, because the community, you know, you are the people who get to the community every day. I'm sure you are being asked, where is this money? Where is this money? But because it is hidden and it is surrounded by a lot of secrecy, it is a very dangerous issue. And that is what we need to give out to the public. In anything that we handle, the public need to be aware. And that is why most of the time you hear public participation. Public participation. This money, there was no public participation. It was only the executive. If you can see the sharing, it was only the executive. There is no representation. There is no MCA. There is no... And you see, MCAs, all of them from East, were supposed to be part of the committee, if I'm not wrong. Same case to MCA from Concepcion, because some people are affected at Momoniat. But he's also in the darkness, because people will ask, where were you? So you see, some of these things, I think I had mentioned one time that we need to stand above anything, our differences. Me personally, I want to assure the people of Kericho County that I will serve them as the deputy governor. and I will always provide my support wherever I'm able to do. Where I'm not able to do, you cannot do much. But I can assure this committee and the House that I'm very grateful and I appreciate. So to those families that lost their loved ones, we still say, may their souls rest in eternal peace. And for those families that still have people who are in hospitals, we wish them quick recovery. And those ones who are at home also, we wish them quick recovery. There are several businesses which were lost, and we are still praying for them that they will pick up and move. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. On my own behalf and on behalf of this committee, we indeed appreciate your coming. Thank you so much. We have had an objective deliberations on the same. There are matters that are rising, that is at the committee level, to prosecute the matter with just fairness, truth, and nothing but the truth. Thank you so much. And
Deputy Governor, we would like to request you that even as this committee continue executing their mandate, they might reach a point, they might need some other additional information from you. We kindly request you that we will be conducting the same, maybe through the chairperson or myself, for more information in case we will need. And just be free to surrender the same information, just the same way you've done today. Thank you, Chairman.
Much obliged.
thank you so much. As I have said, we'll be very objective within the mandate of the committee to unravel this matter to its conclusive end. So thank you so much, and may God bless you as you're ushered out by our Sergeant at Arms. Thank you so much.
Chairman, I'm requesting that I move a motion that we go for lunch, so that, or, the lunch